Hey everybody, Justin the Diabetic. I hope this is the first of more weekly videos. I've had some stuff happen in the past year that took me away from making my videos, and I've had the urge to start back over the past few weeks, and I didn't quite know where or how to do so. So this first video will be where I've been and what's happened over the past year. I've had some of you message me on Facebook and other areas wanting to know if I was okay and stuff like that. Health-wise, personally, yes, I'm fine. I dove into my job a little too much, and I let it take over everything in my life. So with that, as most of you know, if you've been following for the channel for a while, I left my normal job that I was doing and moved about 600 miles away from home to take on a new job. I did that, let me think, it's 22, April of 22 is when I moved, and 22 was fine. Beginning of this year, things started to change. A lot more expectations and pressure was placed on me. I made myself determined to be everything that certain people thought that I should be and prove my worth. And the lesson that I learned over the past 10 months is that's not going to never happen. Certain people are going to have mindsets of you, and you're never going to change that. When I started this new role, I basically had two departments, one of which had, at the time, a staff of 6, and the other had the staff of 7. And over the past almost 2 years, the 2 departments turned into 3 departments. The department with 7 remained the same. It didn't have any change. The department that had 6 grew to, it didn't have 6, my bad, it had 8. It grew up to 13, and then I built a 3rd over the summer, and the 3rd was not located anywhere near me, so it was at the other end of the state, and I took the initiative to do it the way that I felt it needed to be done correctly, and it was. It still operates flawlessly. But with all of that, managing the 3 departments, I was 24/7, always working. There was no me time. There was no time for anything. It got to the point a few months back, I had to turn off my work email from my phone. I mean, I had it. If somebody needed me, they could text me and say, hey, I need you to check your email. But I would not receive notifications from it. It was my way of kind of trying to disconnect from it a little bit. And that helped. Some things have changed. I talked with my boss. We reorganized a little, and I gave up the 2nd and the 3rd departments. And I refocused myself on what I'm primarily there for and what I was hired to do, which was the original department, because I totally lost sight of my expertise and everything that I was supposed to be doing because the other 2 consumed my life 24/7. And that stuff happens. I know that it was a lesson for me. But in that, I lost myself, I think. I lost who I wanted to be and who I was. And it gradually compressed me down to a part where I was depressed, I wasn't happy, and I was just miserable. I mean, that was the best way to describe it. And finally, it reached a breaking point, and it was something needed to change, whether it was total companies or job duties and stuff like that. And it's been a little over a month since the change has happened. The first few weeks I was kind of lost. I felt like a lost puppy. I didn't really know what to do. It took me a little bit, but now over the past, I would say 2-ish weeks, I've regained myself and I've started doing things that actually are applying to what I was supposed to be doing all along, and making improvements and working together with our team to push the limits. And I feel whole again. The only thing that was missing was you guys. So putting all that aside, if you've been along previously, when I get stressed, I get like the munchies and I stress eat. We talked about this when I first started doing the videos and I first started dieting. I weighed like 325 pounds, I believe. And then at the lowest that I got was 240 pounds the summer of 22. Well, this summer, the adding of that third department, I had a extremely tight timeline. Something that should have taken months was done in a month and a half. And that was hiring the staff, total setup. It was to me, it was crazy. I was away from home for almost 3 straight months, and that was an adjustment. So with that added stress, obviously I was stress eating, and then the general stress it all, like I would have days I wouldn't even eat, and I was still consuming mass amounts of insulin from the automated system of my Omnipod 5. And it was just like, I called my doctor frantic. I was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to fix it. So that's when we made some adjustments. So I was on U100. I asked for U200. My doctor wasn't 100% sure if she could write the script for U200. I'm on Humalog. They don't offer that U200 in a vial, so it would be a pen. So she was worried about that. So she put me on U500, and I used that for about 2 months. And that 2 months was, for lack of a better word, kind of hell for me. I met with my doctor at the end of the 2-month period. She had done a little research on the insulins and what she could write and make sure we wouldn't run into any issues with insurance. And I was placed on the U200 after that. But U500 is not a fast-acting insulin, quite like 100 and 200 are. I would bolus and take the insulin that I needed, and I was having extreme highs. I started to hit 400 regularly, and then what are you going to do? You're going to correct for it. And in those corrections, several hours later, all of that insulin would start to work, and my sugars would plummet. I was experiencing from 400s down to 40s, and just rapid drops, and that didn't help my overall well-being, which then also made me like consume carbs like a raging person. I went through just having it readily available as like a snack, a 5-gallon bucket of animal crackers in less than 3 weeks. Just having to go and get them and eat them to keep my sugar up. It was constant. So as the result of that, I gained, I was hanging out steady about 260, 270. I gained all the way back. I'm up to 310 now. So that's brought more changes. Then I've had several other complications. We did the U200, like I said. I learned that in the normal world, I would think that we would measure a liquid based on its liquid consistency. So U100, 1 unit, and then U200 would be the same. You know, if you put 1 unit of U200 next to 1 unit of U100, it would be the same. In the pharmacy world, that's not the case. So the pharmacy world looks at U200's unit as half of the U100. Technically, it's twice the strength. That makes sense. But when we're looking at volume, it doesn't make sense to me. So I had issues with getting my script written correctly. So I was getting half of a month's supply of insulin that I needed instead of the full month. So after struggles of going back and forth between the doctor and the pharmacy, trying to figure all that out, I went back to U100 for a short period of time. And I was maintaining on U100 and I didn't have any issues. I was just using a lot of it. Those of you who aren't familiar with the Omnipod, it holds 200 units, and the pod itself has a life expectancy of 72 hours. So my script is to use 15 pods throughout a 30-day month, or 1 pod supposed to last 2 days. With the U100, I was basically using a pod a day, which wasn't now causing a pod supply issue and other problems. So we got that worked out, went back to U200, met with the doctor, explained everything. We got the script written correctly. I finally got the insulin, and things are now mellowing out. But it's been a fun struggle. I mean, I take it as a learning opportunity, but also with all of the other stuff dealt with earlier in the year, now I'm able to focus on myself and, more importantly, my diabetes a little bit. My A1C, I think I got up close to the upper 7s, if not a low 8, during the summer when I was on the U500, and that's when we really were talking about it. My most recent is in the low 7s. I think it was 7.3. But over the past week, I've been making some adjustments, and I've significantly changed my insulin consumption just based on a couple minor things. Trying to work through some mental stuff, if you want to say, not really that hungry, you don't need to eat, stuff like that. Or if I am eating stuff that is low carbs, a little healthier, things of that nature. That helped a lot. I hope to keep you guys in the loop on all of that. But this is kind of the video of where I've been and what's been going on. I'm going to work on the next couple days, trying to do a couple more videos so that way it's consistent and I can get ahead of what's coming out and what's going on, and we can kind of get back on this routine, and I'll be here to answer questions and stuff for you guys. So if you have any questions or comments, drop them down below, and I'll see you guys over the next few weeks. Have a good one. Bye.